I'm Rob LaCouria, Senior Editor at God Derby, here with Moises Arias, who plays Gabriel in Clint Bentley's indie drama Jockey. Moises, this film is fascinating because it's very immersive within this horse riding, horse racing culture. It was filmed in Arizona with real jockeys, and I'm just curious about what your experience was like. Shooting this really emotional film on a minuscule budget, immersed in the real life world of horse racing.
Well, all those things that you mentioned kind of just help you feel a part of that culture. Feel like you're immersed in this horse racing world with the owners and obviously the jockeys and the trainers and everything really just um, helped to make it feel more authentic. I've done quite a few projects with small budgets, but this was by far the smallest group of people, and I think that only helped us to get things done quickly. And our cinematographer liked to use available light, and with a lot of sunrises and sunsets. So all these things created a pace, created a tone, and I think that's why the film, has that momentum that it has, or maybe the pace, um, because we're acclimating to their lifestyle, and it was a really refreshing and beautiful.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Adolfo Velos's cinematography because it is absolutely breathtaking. And it's, as you say, he's using available light. A lot of this is filmed at dusk or at dawn. And it gives you a sense that, those are the times of the day when, it's like the magic hour, they call it. And I just wonder if that actually made a difference at all to your performance, or you at least trying to get into the headspace of Gabriel, because it's at a certain time of day and the light just reflects off people's faces and it kind of gives the film a bit of a magical tone, don't you think?
I do, and it's not just for the sake of doing so. The lifestyle that these guys have really is waking up at the break of dawn and racing really later on in the evening during sunset. Now, in terms of like that helping me sort of feel, what the end of a day is for, let's say, the career of Jackson, or a sunrise for just the beginning of Gabriel's career. These are all things that Clint and Adolfo played with that I didn't realize until the picture was all put together how much it did affect me, and probably Clifton too. I mean, the lake scene. How could you not be moved by a sort of um, lake in the middle of this track, and
Yeah.
us waiting for the right time to, you know Adolfo was like, okay, enough time has passed, I think we start the second half of the scene now. And you know it just, it helped me open my ears really to listen to Jackson's character, to Jackson.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that many moments in the film that I'm not even a part of, uh, you can attribute the light and the time quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really important, and people probably don't realize that until they're kind of experiencing the film themselves. Um, so the film centers on an aging rider, as we've mentioned, dealing with ill health. He's got lots of injuries, which is very typical of that industry. And he encounters your character, a younger rookie rider, kind of on the way up, on the ascendancy, who claims to be his son. So that's a lot of material there to unpack for a character. And I wonder always with, especially younger actors, who don't have, the same experience like someone like Clifton Collins does. What did it take for you to get into Gabriel's mindset to authentically play this guy who's showing up, really wants to move ahead in his career, but also wants to connect with this guy who he says is his dad?
Like, I mean, every time you sign onto a project, you gotta sort of try to understand the tone. And from the beginning, um, Clint and Greg, the director and the writer, kind of sent images and of how they wanted to document. And I say document because they wanted to mix. They come from documentary filmmaking, so they wanted to mix the sort of narrative with the reality. And from then I was really starting to understand what and how they wanted to capture this story. And I did another film with non-actors called Monos, and that was by far the hardest experience, not only because of that but many other factors. And coming into this, I heard that my character, if it wasn't going to be played by someone like myself, it was going to be a real jockey. So with all those things in mind, and having worked with Clifton about 14, 15 years ago, that really only helped those scenes. That first diner scene, I think, was the first scene me and Clifton did together. And it was probably the toughest one, because how do you just blurt out and claim that someone's your father just on it was tough finding that. But I think with the help of Clint, and Adolfo, and obviously Clifton, we found a rhythm that was beautiful, and I think came together really, really well.
Yeah, that scene is really, it's really telling for the tone of the whole film, because it's not like a big, mawkish, dramatic kind of like revelatory scene. It's very organic, and it's awkward, and there's this fascinating ambivalence about Gabriel, even a sadness I found in your eyes, particularly as I was watching you. And I just am very curious to know, obviously, Clint wanted this film to feel organic, immersive, real, but for you, what went into the choices you made to make this guy slightly mournful, slightly ambivalent, unsure, awkward? What went into that?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I think reading through the script a couple times, going to Clifton's room pretty much every night, and working on scenes that we were going to shoot the next day, kind of gave us insight into what we could do, what we could pull, what we could add. Again, I'm a huge cinematographer fan, so right when we got there, me and Adolfo started talking. I take photographs. I showed him my images and a couple of things that I had shot motion wise, and it just kind of opened my eyes to how he does things, and what he wanted to do with this. It was a group of people that really were intrigued, I guess, by each other's work and things that they've done, and coming together and wanting to make something. We all saw this script and we were like, we want to make this as special as it is on the page. Why the choices were made, I'm not sure. I think with Clint's guidance and with Greg's guidance, and meeting the people in the barns in between scenes, and the jockeys, and you just kind of get a sense of the real world of jockeying, if that's conjugated correctly. Um, Clint always talks about all these, I don't want to put him on blast, but horse movies that are more centered around, like, I don't know, the jockey that finally makes it, and the whole,
Yeah.
like, all this. And being on the track for the 3-4 weeks that we were, you get a sort of a look into the reality of it. And I think that one, Clint's father being a jockey really informed the story, and then just the track, the life on the track.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that too, because I didn't really want to sit down and watch a film about a jockey who finally makes it. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen that, I've been there, I've done that. Right. This, you can tell Clint had an emotional or personal connection to the story, obviously, because of his dad. This is about human beings who work really hard and who are just striving to do their best. And that's very universal. We all can experience that no matter what we do. So that brings me to this. What did you most value about working with Clint? You know, this is his directorial debut, which is surprising because it's such a mature, immersive film to watch. What did you value most about his vision?
Oh, I think it's how we put everything together, how him and Greg have done things. I think he listens to us. I think he's um, you know, open for us to try things, but at the end of the day, we were attracted to his vision and his ideas as well, which is very important when you're directing a film. He's an amazing person to talk to. He's both of these guys. I've never met people like them. Gotten to work with people that were I don't know the world, the track accepted them so much, like welcomed them, and in turn welcomed us, the actors, that it really shows in the film. It shows what they're about. I mean, you can't make something like this without having that effect on people. So those are really beautiful things that I really appreciated while working on the film.
Yeah, you can really tell there's a mutual respect there between the non-actors and the actors as well, and of course the crew. Um, Clifton Collins has been working for a long time. He's given some really beautiful performances, but this is probably his best work, which is saying something. As number one on the call sheet, I wonder what kind of tone does he set for the set as the lead actor on this film?
Again, I've known him for a very long time. To see him again was incredibly exciting. I mean, he's a real prepared, inspiring sort of actor to work with. I mean, again, he's so down for you to go to his room and talk about, oh, well, this is something that I wanted to run by you. Or if you come to him and it's like, yo, I'm feeling something like this for tomorrow. And then Greg and Clint would come in and Molly would come in. I had very few scenes with her, but the few times that I did, we were in Clifton's room talking about tomorrow or next week, whatever it was. Clifton sets a tone, like you said, that shows how long he's been doing this and how much he cares about what he does. And I think from the beginning, I mean, he was there before this script was even finished. He was there with the draft before, and it was written for him. And he had worked with Clint and Greg on Transpecos. So they had, history as we did as well. And
Yeah.
I think all those things coming together really made this what it is, and made the experience what it was. Because I mean, you get Molly, you get Clifton. If you're not prepared, then you're just not there. You're just not keeping up with them. They're incredible, prepared, talented actors, and it was really special to be there.
Yeah, you're right. As a younger person, I mean, I recall up and coming in my own career. You learn from the best, and you hope to take on their attributes as you move forward. And yeah, and I'm sure you definitely did that with Molly and Clifton, but they'll probably say the same thing about you. They probably learnt a lot about yourself. You've got your own experiences to bring to the table. And on that note, I wonder, there's still some physical aspects to this role. There's obviously the horse riding, but what I know about jockeys is they have this really strict weight requirement. So you would have had to stay extremely lean. And also there's a lot of physical aspects with the training. I wonder how difficult it was for you, or challenging at least, to prepare for that physical aspect, and then of course shooting the film and actually performing the physical aspects. What was that like?
Um, I trained quite a bit. I haven't stopped training ever since I was a kid. So everyone on the film side was joking when I first got there, because the jockeys were looking at me sideways like, who's this new jockey that we so it was you're right, they do have a strict weight requirement that we talk about in the film, or that is talked about in the film. That's one of the big things that Clifton's character goes through. And when they're talking about flipping and all this stuff, like, jockeys do that. And in the AA meeting, when they're saying that riders are getting taller and turn skinnier, which means less muscle on the bone, and consequently, harder falls and longer times out. All that stuff is incredibly real, and that's why that scene is so special. And I hadn't seen it until the film was put together. So you take all those things, and you try to get in that headspace. What one of the writers gave me, I forget what it's called, but on in one of the scenes, Jackson is helping Gabriel with his sort of riding down the stretch, and that the horse thing.
Whatever that thing's called.
Gosh, I forget. It was brought into my hotel room in front of my TV. Like everyone was just so down to help me get here, that it was really special.
Yeah, absolutely. So the film's getting rave reviews. It's got a lot of acclaim, and for people who may not be completely familiar with your work, I mean, a lot of us know you from when you were much younger on TV, but this is a real change of pace for you, Moises, and I just want to congratulate you on a really wonderful performance, and thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Robert. I really appreciate you.